I was just finishing up cutting this last of this big ash tree that we took down. It was dropping some big limbs. It was 90% dead. The ash borer got it as they're getting all over it. It was a huge tree. So I've spent the last 4 or 5 weekends just doing what I can. Weekdays it's difficult to do much during the weekday because I leave when it's dark and I get home. At best, it's dusk, so I have maybe 20 minutes of daylight to do anything. The rest of it's all cut up. Happened here is I noticed as I was starting to cut there, my saw wasn't cut so good, and then instead of throwing chips, it was throwing sawdust. So then I finally finished cutting it through, and I don't know if you can see, yeah, there's metal. I don't know what it was, maybe it was some old fence. I counted about 106 growth rings on this, so the tree is over 100 years old. It was near the center, it seems, so maybe it was a piece of a goat fence, but it, I don't know if you can quite see, it kind of did a number on my chain, so I'm just going to touch it up, and then I don't even know if I want to mess with this. It's just, I mean, down towards the base, it just gets kind of curly and it's really difficult to split, and I don't know where any more of that metal is. So, I don't know. I'm just going to finish field dressing this up here, and I'll probably go and swing some axes. What's going on, man? Alright, my phone died. The battery was dead. When I doing video in high def, it just sucks down the battery. But anyway, I finished bucking the log. It took me a little longer than I thought, and I realized what the reason was is if I wasn't chopping well is because I was wearing my chainsaw chaps, and that's why I couldn't chop well. I'm kidding. No. Clearly, my plan of attack was not that great. I think what it was is I didn't make my notches wide. Generally, you want to make the notches about as wide as the log is, and I was a little narrow on this. So as I started to get towards the center, I realized that I still had a lot of wood holding it all together, and I was just basically just chipping in like very narrow crevices, and it took me a lot longer than I thought. But it's done, and so that's the biggest log I've ever bucked. So it is Sunday the 15th. I know the Cordwood challenge ends today. I don't know if today is the last day or today is the end, so anything after this point is null. I don't know. I just went ahead and did anyways. Ben, if you want to go ahead and include this, it's up to you. Doesn't really matter. I wanted to do this productive day. I was running some saws. The only thing I wasn't happy about is one of my project saws here that I'm about as excited as I am frustrated. And this is my my McCulloch 1010. It came with an 18-inch bar that was just destroyed. I really haven't done anything to this other than just run some fresh gas through it and clean the carb a little bit. I do have a rebuild kit. I probably am just going to rebuild it because it seems like you know, I can get it to start up no problem, but then when I start to go putting it under load and tuning the carburetor, it just tends to die, and it's going in and it's going out, and then the idle's too low, it's too high, the chain is spinning. So I turn the idle down, and then it just wants to cut out. So I think that I am just going to go ahead and just take the carburetor apart and rebuild it. The only thing that I did differently is there was some kind of, these things have these little filters inside there. Last night, after a few beers and a little gleam of wisdom, I decided to cut that off and put a regular filter on. It's a little smaller than I had hoped for, but maybe that's the cause. I don't know. I'm probably going to replace the fuel line anyways, because these things are just known to they just leak, and you know, fuel mix gets inside here and just gets kind of gross and stuff. But anyway, I don't know. This is a neat little saw. I mean, it's a 54cc saw, but they cut about as on par with 60cc class saws of today, modern ones. This saw, I think, is it's one of the older 1010s, I think, like maybe like mid 70s. So it's older than me. And but anyway, it works. It's just not quite in reliably cutting mode yet. It definitely will start. I bet you if I start it up right now, it will fire right up. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Let's see if we get this started up. Yeah, it wants to. I don't know. Something's weird with it. I think the carburetor is just gummed up. Again, I really haven't done anything to this. I'm surprised that I was able to get it to fire up with one little squirt of ether. That's all it really took, and then it was drafting fuel on its own. But anyway, that's about it. Sayonara.